And of course, I keep telling you, when you're around too many people who gossip, when you're around too many people telling you what to do with your life, when you're around too many people talk, the mind cannot find its peace. You cannot learn to listen to your higher self. So please, 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 for your own sake, make yourself happy by spending time with your higher self. Because it will not lie to you. It will watch you, but it will not lie to you. It will not tell you what to do. It will show you what thoughts are in your mind. It will make you make the decision as a human being. And that's our mission as a human being. Which decision to take? Make it simple for yourself. There's really two. One to cause pain to somebody or yourself. One to be free and light and be happy. The choice is yours. I make it sound so simple. But most cases are very complicated. But they're only complicated because we see it as complicated. If you can simply see it as, you know what, the mind is complicated. Many minds have complicated the issue. I do not need to be part of this complication. All I need to know is, I want my peace. Then you can walk away. You don't have to get muddled up with all these nonsenses and all this nonsense talk that I hear so much of, that everybody gets disturbed by. Walk away from it. Sri Patanjali tells us we're going to study the 4 locks and keys. Disregard the wicked. Disregard. What does the wicked mean? The wicked means that people are negative. Some people are just negative. Some people just like to put you down. What can you do? They're there to teach you to be strong. So love them from a distance.
There's a song called that.
Yeah, love them from a distance. What a nice song. Yeah. Because sometimes by seeing them, they will agitate your minds. And so many people tell me, oh, Nalanie, I really have this calling to do this, but what if I do it? Then people will think I'm big-headed or this. Why do you care what people think? You have this calling. You want to do it. What is your reason for wanting to do it? It's a calling. Is it coming from love? Yes. So why do you care what people say? Maybe they think I'm too big for my boots. That's their problem. That's their problem. You're going to sacrifice your whole life because somebody thinks that by you doing something good, that you are too big for your boots? Wow, what a sacrifice you're giving to that one person. That person's very lucky you sacrificed so much for them. Oh, it's true. Remember, we all have come here with a job. And you know, as Gurudev said it, did you show that clip? Yeah, no, yesterday.
Yesterday, yes.
Where he says,
yeah.
you know, don't worry, if you're not useful, you'll be dead.
Yes.
The fact that you're alive means you're useful. So stop being useful. Stop being the real you. You know, what is it going to benefit you or the world by feeling sorry for yourself? So, you know, even if you want to forget the world, what does it benefit you for feeling sorry for yourself? More misery, more depression, more pity, more people, oh, don't go near her, oh, we're depressed, you know? So what does it benefit you to be like this? And this is why, again, I love the Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali. He tells us, he gives us a map. He tells us, this is a map. You try it. You follow the map, and you see the results. I am telling you, I followed this map, and these are the results. Now, if you don't follow the map, and you get a map, let's say of Madrid, and every day you look at the map. Oh, I've got a map of Madrid, I know all the roads there. But if you don't go to Madrid, how will you ever experience Madrid? You know how many people tell me they have dreams to travel? Oh, so many. And for years, I want to go here, I want to go. Go! Yeah, but. And one day I go, so many years you've been telling me of your dreams to travel. Why haven't you gone? You studied this place, you want to go to Australia. Why haven't you gone? They got so used to being fearful. So they just look at the maps, they tell everybody what they want to do, but there's no energy to go and do it. What happens? The whole life is wasted. The life is here for us to do what we can when we can. Oh, I can't, I feel guilty for spending this money, I feel guilty for spending, I feel guilty. As you think, you will become. why is there so much guilt in this world? Are you doing, the question you have to ask yourself is, are you doing anything to hurt anybody? Correct. What is your mission? To be a better person? Are you all here to be a better person? Thank you. Now, in this room, there are 100 saints. All of you are saints. How many people have the vocation in this world to be better people? Everybody wants to be famous, everybody wants to make money, everybody wants to be the best dressed or the best that have the best things. But how many do you find that really want to be better as human beings? You're amongst the rare. You just want to be better as a human being. What a lovely thing to do. But you can't be better as a human being if you have a long face all day long, can you? You're not representing God. I don't know who you're representing. Probably the demon, right? Isn't it true? If you see somebody depressed face, will you say they're a child of God? You say, oh my God. Poor God. And even our master used to say, do not even allow God to disturb your peace. Make peace your God. And that's the truth. If you have no peace, there is no God. If you have no joy, there is no God. So we have this journey, and this wonderful journey through life. Painful. I guarantee it. Guarantee pain in your life. But I also guarantee love and experience and joy. Different things. Also guaranteed. So try and look at the bright side of life. What is that song they sing?
Look at the bright side of life.
Sing it one more time, all of you.
Always look at the bright side of life.
Louder. Good. How come they're only singing up front and nobody up back? Don't you like to look at the bright side of life and join them? Come on, let's have it one more time with the whole room.
That time.
Is it? You don't know
Yes,
the song?
yes.
No.
Like a Brian, everybody knows
¿Qué pasa?
Before the time? Sorry about that, you can tell my age. So again, when I think about song and music, I think it's such a gift to humanity. And you never forget the day of Chandra's, the funeral of our beloved husband Phil, and boy was he beloved, we all loved him to bits, His bongos are here and they're in the other center, so he's still with us. And even at the funeral, what song did she play? Smile, though your heart is breaking, smile. Yeah? Do you know? What a beautiful song to put at a funeral. When you're going through your extreme pain and sending out a nice message from her, from him, to everyone. How many people did she influence when she did that? She lifted spirits. Rather than say, she just experienced, and the children just experienced the greatest loss in their life. And they were still concerned about lifting other spirits. And they did. And by doing that, they themselves heal. It's true, is it not? Look at them. It's not that long ago. How long has it been?
A year next month.
A year next month. Yeah, time is going very quick these days, have you noticed?
Yeah.
It's very quick because we fill it with too many things to do and not enough time to be. Too much to do, too much to do. If you take next holiday, don't take your iPad with you. I mean it. When I was in Tanzania, I was uncontactable. I just got one text message because we had lost somebody in our sangha. And Shanti knows she has to contact me for important things. Otherwise, I'm so nice to have time. And today, you can do so many things in one day. Because you're not...
To enjoy each and every moment.
Every moment, every moment, every moment. And I thought, why can't we just throw this away forever? I That'd be really good. I mean, really good, because the time you spend just with everything that is there, the day, everything you're doing, there's no distraction, just total focus on the people you meet, on the work you're doing. You can achieve so much. We accomplished so much in 4 days because there was no interference with the work, God's work. And on the internet, half the time we talk rubbish. Haven't you noticed? It's not all important.
Most of it isn't.
Yeah, most of it is. And I always tell people, please do not forward me forwards, but do write to me about how you are doing. That's more important to me. If I'm going to open my email, I want to know about you. I want to say, hi Nalanie, I'm doing this, I'm da-da-da. So it's Shanti May's birthday today, and I was hoping to meet her for lunch, but I didn't have time. Nice things about your life, or bad things about your life, but I want to know about you. I don't want to get thousands of forward. Oh, I have to open the forward in case I've got a message from you. I see it's a forward. You just wasted 5 seconds of my time. Unless it's brilliant or funny or you want to cheer me up, different. But I'm already cheered up. But sometimes it's funny when you get a funny joke. When somebody sends you a funny joke, you start laughing, And it's nice to laugh. I think everything is too serious these days, And all the extra time you waste on nonsense, don't waste that time. If you're on Facebook and you're on the internet, use it for valuable stuff. You can learn a lot. It has its great attributes as well. You can learn so much very quickly. At a touch of a button, if you want to learn something, you can get answers very quickly. But it's really important to experience life, live life. Enjoy life. Enjoy a smile. People are smiling, the other person's there. There's no focus. And then these same people that's doing this all day long, they're depressed, they have personality problems, can't cope with problems of the world. They can't. I think we have a new age teaching coming up, People need to learn to communicate again and smile. And smile. Smile. Hello, people. I'm saying smile. I'm like really hinting big time. Everybody smiles back. That's good. That's so nice. The spirit feels when it smiles. How good the spirit feels. How light it feels. How light it feels. It feels so good to smile.
Can we just start laughing?
Thank you for that. Good, all the toxins come from. You don't see me cry, but you see me laugh cry. I laugh a lot, I cry a lot. It's great. Yeah, it's great for pranayama. Once when Gurudev was in Hong Kong, and they had asked him, my family had asked him, we have a temple at home, and they had asked him, the whole family came, Gurudev, can you do laughing meditation? Nalanie told us that in Bali you did a laughing meditation, and everybody was laughing. So he goes, and can you teach us breathing? Can you teach that? He said, only laugh out loud and you will do everything. You will do breathing practices, you will take out your toxins, and you will stay young. So we spent 20 minutes just laughing. It was great. It was great. It was great. And people tell me that he was very serious. I said, well, I don't think you really knew him. The people who knew him, he wasn't. He was really a comedy act, And not only that, he was like so clever. So clever. He could fix cars, he could ride planes, he could do, and give him any machine, he could fix it. He knew all about the latest electronics, cameras, etc. Brilliant. Anything you talk to him about, he was well knowledgeable, and he didn't study, so he was always serving. So how did he know all this stuff? Quite a remarkable human being, quite a remarkable human being. So, and that's what all these yogis tell as well. That really should rise up by ourselves, and create a beautiful world around us. One man from India goes to America, changes all the hippies into saints. And then all the donations he got, he didn't use for himself. He opened this huge ashram. And all the dropouts that didn't have jobs came in and lived there till they became non-dropouts and served the world. So you see how everything was just rotating. Then he built this huge lotus temple. Beautiful. If you've not seen it, please visit it. It is a wonder of the world. It is a wonder of the world. You just walk in and it hits you. How many of you been there? Quite a few. Do you agree it's amazing? And you just meditate. On the top floor, you just meditate. Nobody's allowed to speak upstairs. But downstairs, you'll find all the different altars of all the different religions. And, to bring people together, one man who's taken from his country, he didn't even ask to go there. He was in India. And all he wanted to do is ask God for his mission, what was his mission. He wanted to find out who he was. His wife had died, and he left his 2 sons with his mother to look after him. Went all over India finding his mission till he found his master, Master Shivananda. And he tells the story, it's really quite funny. He said when he first met Master Shivananda, he'd been all over India meeting many saints and sages. And Master Shivananda was sitting down, singing, laughing, and then he goes, and drinking coffee.
Yes.
And then, Gurudev was saying, what kind of master is this? Singing, laughing, because at that point he thought master to be very serious, and drinking coffee. And of course, Master Shivananda read his mind, and he says, oh, you don't like me like this? Oh, do you prefer me like this? And then Swamiji laughed, and he goes, no, Master Shivananda, I think I prefer you happy and drinking your coffee. So, do you know, the world becomes so extreme with good and bad. It's not about good and bad, it's about living a good life. And not about judgment. And when we start on a spiritual path, sometimes we become very, very judgmental. We don't need to be judgmental, we just need to look at ourselves and fix ourselves. That's the story, okay? Look at ourselves and fix ourselves. There's enough to do there. There's so much work to do with oneself, why would you want to waste it? Very short life to learn. Life is very short life to learn about yourself and your mission here. Use it wisely. Don't give away your hours so frivolously. Think how you're living it. And then you will be joyful, because you'll be fulfilled. You live a fulfilled life. You are joyful, aren't you? And many people are so scared. We've talked about this 1,000 times. Fear is what stops you. What are you frightened of? Ask yourself, why am I so frightened? When my children went to boarding school, my husband gave them really good advice. He said, every time you get terrified of a teacher or somebody who's not so nice, just imagine them sitting on a toilet seat. I promise you, it worked. Do you know it saved my children from fear? And of course, when he said it at that time, I said, darling. But many years later, they told me, Mom, every time we were fearful about something, we just did that and we felt fine. It worked. Do you know? It worked. So simply, it worked. And there I was judging him. We don't say these things to children. Who was I to judge him? He gave them something that's really freed them. Why does it have to be my way? Why can't it be his way? Do you know? It did work. They themselves told me. So I tell this story now. So you never know where the truth comes from. You never know where the truth comes from. So try not to judge too much, because everything teaches us and guides us to the highest, if we can see it that way. So, Shanti, which sutra am I
You're on 16, page 28.
Okay. I think I'm not even going to touch 16 until I know people have been meditating for a long time without a break and with all their hearts. And we'll come back to 16, because 16, I'll do another talk separately, another time on the nature of, on the goodness. Maybe we do it next week, and then I go back to 16, all right? Because I need time for 16, and I can see time is going fast today. So,
We're leaving early today, right?
Yeah, I'm leaving at 7:20 today, if you don't mind. I've got a brand new puppy at home. Got it yesterday night, yes. So I've got a brand new puppy at home.
What have you named? What breed?
She's Gaia.
Gaia.
Her name is Gaia, which means Greek name for Mother Nature. Yes, goddess of Mother Nature. She's a mongrel. She was given to me.
I'm so jealous of you. Everybody's getting dogs and she's so crazy.
She can come and see it. So I need to get back to my new baby.
He's really like me now.
She's with somebody else. Okay, thank you. I'll get that. And the only thing is, this baby needs a lot of attention now. But I'm not spoiling it.
That's what they all say.
It's so funny.
So now I'd like to, all of us, to jump to book 2, Sutra 28, which is, there's a reason why we're jumping, all right? Because when you understand these following sutras, after a few weeks, when we talk about the supreme non-attachment and the goodness, you will understand it better, okay? If I go into it now, you will partially understand it, and part of it will just go over your head, all right? So we don't want it to go over your head. So it's in page 124 for those who have the book. It says, anybody like to read it? Who have the book? Who has the book?
By the practice of the limbs of yoga, the impurity dwindles away, and there dawns the light of wisdom, leading to discriminative discernment.
Wow. Here it tells you, and I'll explain what the limbs of yoga are. By the practice of the 8 limbs of yoga, that means you have to practice these 8 limbs. The impurities dwindle away. And there dawns the light of wisdom, leading to discriminative discernment. What it means is, when you just practice, you know how many people go, oh, I can't be better, I can't get meditation, my mind is not quiet. Here it tells you, just by the practice of the 8 limbs of yoga, your impurities will dwindle away. Dwindle. Hear the word dwindle? By itself will leave you. And there dawns the light of wisdom. Now, what covers us from seeing our real self?
The veil of ignorance.
The veil of ignorance. Not knowing how to find God. Not knowing how to find God. We look for God everywhere. We go out in the world. People go to pilgrimages. They come back. Some very disheartened, some totally lost, some find God, some don't find God. Those who look within find God. So it doesn't matter where you go. If you don't find God here, you're not going to find God anywhere. And if you find God here, you're going to find God everywhere. Everywhere will be God's place. You know, I love the story my master told about God and dog. Many of you know this story, God was new ones. Let me tell you this story. You know, there was a man who used to pray to God. God, I love you so much. Every day I pray to you. Every day I meditate. Please, please appear to me. Please appear to me. So God says, okay, tomorrow, midday, I will appear to you. So he calls all his friends. Everybody, God spoke to me. You know how excited you get when you get a sign. Invited all his friends home for lunch. Had a big feast. They all sit around thinking, oh yeah, really? This guy said he talked to God. Midday, there's a scratch on the door. See, I told you God is coming. So he opens the door, and there's this, mangled dog, skinny, ugly looking, so hungry. And he tells her, go away, don't you know I'm waiting for God? Go. Anyway, all his friends, ha, where's God? And he goes, God promised he's coming. A few seconds later, again, the dog is pushing at the door. And he opens the door. I told you don't go away, get out. A few minutes later, the dog bangs at the door. And he takes a stick and he hits the dog. Get away, don't you know God is coming? So the dog scatters away. And his friends are laughing. It's 12:30. God hasn't come. Ha, it's your imagination. Everybody leaves. So the man cries. And he goes into his temple. He said, God, you promised. You promised you were coming. You broke your promise. You made all my friends laugh at me. And he heard the voice say, my son, I came 3 times. First time, you told me to go. The second time, you shouted at me. And the third time, you beat me. So where is God?
Everywhere.
Question is.
So when my master told me that story, the first time I heard him speak here in Gibraltar, when he talked about world peace, it really, really touched me. And I thought, I really don't know God at all. I really don't. And he said, look at the letters, G-O-D. Turn them around.
Dog.
D-O-G.
Yeah.
God is everywhere, Nalanie. Everywhere. Until you understand that, you will not find peace. And how do you find God? In the beginning, our whole psyche is so material, materialistic. Our minds, our thoughts are all based on the material world. Not anybody's fault, just ignorance. It's not a fault, it's not something, just ignorance. So now that we know we're ignorant, find knowledge. Real truthful knowledge that takes you to God and dog.
And you just got a new dog.
Yeah, because I know a lot about human beings. I love human beings a lot. But in my life, I have never really brought up an animal. And I think it is time for me to learn deeply into the soul of animals, which I hope to do. And this is my wish, to understand the animal kingdom too, because I have many people who come to me. Shanti is one, Debbie Durant is one, Amber is another, who love dogs so much. And I can see, and sometimes when I talk about people and I don't give the same respect to animals, it is not right. I'm not right. So I want to learn.
Careful, it's contagious.
Yeah.
I'm on number 4 now.
I think one is enough.
For
I
now.
didn't sleep last night.
They'll come to you.
So anyway, so here it says, and there dawns, when the impurities dwindle away, then what happens? You see the light, you start to see, it happens by itself. Please don't worry so much that I have to make things happen. You can't. That's why it's Amazing Grace. Can you sing that song, please? Listen to the words. All of you sing it.
How sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Oh, grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace thy fears relieved, our precious gift, that grace appeared. The hour I first believed. Through many
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was
God,
young,
thank
yeah.
you.
It was also sung at Phil's wedding as well, that song. Wedding, no, sorry. It was like wedding to God. Funeral.
But that is the truth. It's amazing grace. That's what you feel. And it's an experience. It's not something really, I know we try to put it in words, or I try to put it in words, but it's not. You can't. You can't explain. And all of you, I know, at one point have felt this bliss. You would not be in this room otherwise. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't. You hadn't experienced that bliss somewhere in your childhood or somewhere along your life. You just cannot sit here. You know there's something in you that knows there's something so deep. And where do you feel it from? Here. It's from here. Even when you love someone so unconditionally, where do you feel it from? Here. You feel it from here. That's why the scriptures call God the Lord of love, because when you're in that holy place of love, when you love so wholly, unconditionally, you feel it from here. So where do you know God from?
Heart.
And that's where we have to look for it, not in somebody else's heart. Maybe you can get contagious, the heart can make it contagious, but to actually keep it for yourself and experience it, it has to be from yourself. And here Sri Patanjali gives us a way, so simply, he gives us a way to get into, so we can see that amazing grace. The light of wisdom, he calls it. The light of wisdom, it makes you wise. The amazing grace comes from within. And then you learn discriminative discernment. What does that mean? The ability to make the right decisions, not based on others' point of view, but in your soul, in your heart, the highest voice. People may not agree with your voice, or they may think you're wonderful. Doesn't matter either way. That's not the important thing. The important thing is to live in that amazing grace and to go beyond good or bad. Go beyond what people think. Go beyond what they may say is right or wrong. But go to the highest place where you know you're working the purest way. And when you do that, it's amazing grace. It's amazing grace. And it comes within you. So this is what Sri Patanjali tells us. So the next sutra, he gives us what are the 8 limbs of yoga. The first one, he tells us, is Yama. I want you, I know you're not doing a teacher training course, but I really would like for you to memorize it. How many don't have the book and don't plan to buy it? Okay.
New ones in, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you don't plan to buy it, no problem. I'll see if I have some handouts. They're little paper. You know what? We can just give them anyway. They're really nice to put in your handbag so you remember, or your pocket, or your coat pocket, you know, your jean pocket. Shanti, we have some, right?
Yeah, you on the front, it's the picture of you, right?
Yeah.
No,
The one
no,
that Julio
no.
did? No.
No, it's
Oh,
the
the
one with
sheets.
all the different saints and sages, and then you fold the one Julio did.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's not me in front. That
Isn't
one.
it a
No.
picture of you?
See,
I thought it was.
Yes,
No,
it-
picture of
No.
me at the front going like this, right?
Yeah, and Shivananda as well. Is
Oh,
there.
then I'm
Yeah,
talking.
lots of little pictures, is it? That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
the one.
Not
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ese mismo.
Doesn't matter. What we'll do is we'll get them to you. I think you got it. See, she carries in her purse. What a good student.
Yes.
What a good student.
Does it have a picture of you or not?
No.
Oh, sorry.
It's my man.
It's from a Hansa.
So good.
But are you on the back though? You're on the back. Are you on the back, Nalanie? No?
I'm no man.
You are everywhere. I see you everywhere.
I saw you there as well. I saw you there.
It's for the people that I often talk about. Ramakrishna, Saint Ramakrishna. Recently I haven't talked a lot about it, but please, if you can get a book about Ramakrishna, it's amazing. The Gospel of Ramakrishna, written by his disciple, I don't remember the name now, but amazing book. He was one of the earlier saints of the early 1800s that turned the tide of religious thinking. He was one of the early saints that said, truth is one, paths are many. He studied the Bible and he saw Lord Jesus. He studied the Shiva Puranas and he saw Lord Shiva. He studied the Bhagavad Gita and he saw Krishna. Read his life story, it's brilliant. And so Ramakrishna is one. Paramahansa Yogananda. Any of you read his works? Oh, good. He's got some brilliant books. One is called The Divine Romance. I love that. And the other one is
Autobiography of a Yogi.
Autobiography.
Man's Eternal Quest.
Man's Eternal
That's my
Quest.
favorite.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Man's Eternal Quest and Autobiography of a Yogi. Amazing books. And then we have Master Shivananda, who is master of our master, and of course Swami Satchidananda. So there are some amazing books out there. If you haven't read them, read them. Paramahansa Yogananda is more new. Swami Vivekananda is not mentioned here. He was more like a scientist. He was powerful. He was a science, master of science. So when he spoke with such power, but very scientifically. So for people who like the spiritual to be explained scientifically, read Swami Vivekananda. And Swami Chinmayananda was highly intellectual. So if you like intelligence, you like words, study Swami Chinmayananda. They all say the same thing. For me, I fell in love with Swami Satchidananda because it was so 21st century. I could understand him easily. And still today the words are so easily understood because it was written for, I feel, our century. Some are from the older century when things were different, when they didn't have modern conveniences. So it's a different time. You have to relate scriptures to the time we are. The truth stays the same. The truth stays the same. And I'll give you an example of this. The ashram in America is simple but very comfortable and very nice. And Swami Satchidananda was telling us, somebody came from India and from England. There were a few students. And they go, Swamiji, we read all the scriptures and they all say we should meditate in very simple places and we should be an ascetic with very poor things. And then Swamiji said, you're talking about the olden times. That's how they lived. He said, today, in this world, you all are used to your air conditioning, you are used to your heating. We put you in a place that is meager. All you're going to be thinking about, is there a rat? Is there a cockroach? I'm too hot, I'm too cold. You're not going to be meditating.
That's true.
And you know what? He opened my eyes. Because prior to that, I thought I have to stay in really tacky places, which I did. And really horrible. And really, when you're there, it's because we're so used to comfort in this modern generation, you have to battle so much to keep your mind quiet. Is there going to be a bug? Is there going to be a rat? I was in this hotel in India, which was really the worst of the worst. Dirty, dust everywhere, and you can't meditate, couldn't breathe even, So, and when he said that, all that guilt, I have to do this, that went out of my head. I said, of course, this is a new generation. How wise he is. He said, I want you to fix your mind quickly. I want to take time. You can spend 20 years like that, getting over your fears of bugs and things. Why not go the fast route? So you see, again, adapt, adjust, always remember those words. So he tells us about the 8 limbs of yoga. The first one is Yama. Can you all say it?
Yama.
What is it? It's like we have 10 commandments. We have Yama, we have 5, and the second one, niyama, is another 5. So it's like your 10 commandments. The first 5 tell you to abstain from certain things. To abstain, that means not to do these things, or to be a certain way. So the first one talks about to abstain from violence, which is ahimsa. In other words, practice non-violence. Now, I will cover them in depth after I run through the 8 limbs of yoga, right? Let's first know what the 8 limbs are. Second one is truthfulness. So we have to always speak the truth. Satya, good girl. The third one is asteya, non-stealing. See similarities there with the 10 commandments? And the fourth one is brahmacharya, which means a lot of people say it's celibacy, but it's not celibacy alone. It could be for the monk. Yes, it should be for the person who's decided to take that path. But it actually means continence. It actually means moderation. The word Brahma means God, Charya means student. So the real meaning of brahmacharya is really be a student of God. And if you are a student of God, you will practice moderation. Okay? Yes, you will be balanced. Then we have aparigraha, which is non-greed. Look at what's happened to our world today. Why are we all suffering? Credit crunch, etc. Climate changes, etc., etc. What's the greatest thing we're doing in this world today? Greed. 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 Banks. Greed. Greed. Big companies. Greed. Greed. I was reading a lovely magazine the other day called Resurgence that one of my students in England very kindly gifted to me it comes monthly, I think. And it's written by I never read much by him, but I've been told that he would like to come next year, so I thought I'd invite him next year. His name is Satish Kumar. He speaks all over the world about how we can make our earth spiritual, ecologically. And then there was a very interesting article on money. Beautiful how money should be made and how it's been abused by the big corporations and by the banks. And because of all the greed there, it hasn't filtered down to everyone, the wealth, whereas we should all be wealthy. But anyway, it's a brilliant magazine called Resurgence if you are interested in the ecology of the earth and the world and the economy. Money is a beautiful thing if you know how to control it. It is a nightmare if it controls you. So learn how to control energy like money. So that's aparigraha. Niyama are observances, things we need to practice. Things we need to practice in our life. The first one, who remembers?
Contentment.
Purity. Practice purity in your thought. Practice purity in your life. Be really clear. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And keep your body clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. The second one, santosha, which means practice contentment in your life. The third one, tapas. It means accepting pain without causing it in return. You stop the wheel going round and round because somebody hurts you, you hurt them back. Somebody hurts you, you hurt them back. It's a vicious cycle. It becomes pain, more pain, more pain. Here it says, stop it. Accept pain, but don't cause it back in return. Then you stop the cycle. How do you put out a fire? With water, not with more fire. Right? Same thing. So the next one is swadhyaya. I love this word. Study of spiritual books. Keep your mind elevated all the time by reading positive things. You don't believe in a religion, no problem. Just read positive things, beautiful things. I told you, did I tell you the story about the bowls and the beggar that I heard on the radio the other day? I told them yesterday. I was listening to the radio while I was driving, and they wanted to see who were the most generous people in the world, so they planted a beggar. And he had all different bowls, and each bowl had a different religion on it. Buddhism, Catholicism, Christianity, anyway, all of it, Hinduism. And then at the end, he had atheists. At the end of the day, do you know which bowl was the most full? Atheist. And he was so surprised, and they were also surprised at this study. Interesting. So, never judge a book by its cover. Sometimes the atheists have the most biggest hearts. They just don't say the word God, but they love. Okay, so never judge a book by its cover. I thought it was a very interesting story when I heard it over the radio. Nowadays they tell nice stories, huh? So that is Swadhyaya, study of spiritual books. Read as much as you can. And finally, the last one is Ishvara Pranidhana, which means surrender to God. In other words, surrender to the highest, surrender to the divine, surrender. You know, in our life, all the misery that is caused to ourselves, I believe we cause our own miseries by our own actions, is because we want to control. We want to control the way people think. We want to control the way people act. We want to control, we want to control, we want to control. And this control makes us sick. It makes us so sick, and it makes people sick. Sometimes things just can't be fixed. You just can't fix things. And you just have to accept it is the way it is. And that is the surrender. What could we do? Our husbands had to leave us young. What could we do? Everybody goes, but why, but this? I don't know why. But what's the point of asking it? Everybody has to go at some time. Then sooner you accept, the better it is. Is it raining?
Yes. I know, the bottom
It's not, it's a tube.
No, it's raining, but it's a tube.
It's not pouring, it's just raining, it's just a tube.
Don't you know the song? Listen to the falling rain, listen to it fall good. And with every drop of rain, I can hear you call. Who's calling us?
God.